Hi, I'm Danny Butler.
I'm Ben Butterworth.
And I'm still Stu Day.
And this is the Trialtube podcast. Once again, thank you very much for tuning in to, I'm going to say, I've kept count on these, episode 4. Episode 4. We've made it to 4 episodes and, I've not had to stop because I've been ridiculed. Episode 4 of the Trialtube podcast. If you are listening to us on Spotify and Apple, thank you very much. And if you're behind the wheel right now, please do not crash into the person in front of you. Yes, crash into the person next to you. If you're catching up with us on YouTube right now, thanks very much. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Sharing is caring.
It is. And who'd have thunk it?
Yeah.
YouTube, on a podcast, in North Staffordshire.
You're just blown away by the technology, aren't you, right now?
He's absolutely stoked.
I never knew this technology could exist. It's incredible.
In your day and age. We're once again joined by Ben Butterworth. Welcome back.
Thank you.
He's on rotation. He's on rotation. Obviously, the reason why we have more than one presenter is so that if somebody's not available on a day, then we will bring in a sub.
And it's a greater mindset as well. It's more knowledge. It's more insight.
It is at the end of the day.
More knowledge.
Different opinions.
A difference of opinion.
Well, what we've brought you on for this one is obviously we've got the very beautiful Majesty 2-stroke.
It's a proper bike. It's got two shocks on the back.
It is a proper bike. And I know you prefer your 4-strokes, but what a 2-stroke. What a 2-stroke.
What an epic.
2 strokes. I just prefer 2 shocks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not a stroke thing, it's a shock thing.
Shock thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
This episode has also, gentlemen, been graciously supported by the guys at JSM.
Indeed. The fabulous Shirt family. We're going to talk a lot about them. And they deserve talking well about.
Yeah, I do think so that, John Shirt, Senior and Junior.
Yes.
Have spent a lot of time in the sport. Not only have they, shall we say, provided bikes to a lot of people through the years, pioneered in the sport, developed in the sport.
Yeah, and still going strong.
And still going very, very strong indeed, and rightly so as well. And mainly, one of the reasons why we've got such a wonderful item in the studio today, obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see what's here right now. But in the background, we have a 1980. 1980. Sorry, I've been told there just off screen now. I'm like 1980 for some reason. 1980 Yamaha Majesty 200, which we did actually feature on Trialtube for an episode. But of course, with this being a JSM themed episode, JSM supported episode,
that's where it all started, isn't it?
It is indeed. If you didn't know this, the word Majesty on the bike actually stands for Mick Andrews John E. Shirt TY.
Well, I never knew that.
Did you not?
No.
I have just educated Ben Butterworth.
Yes, and what those guys did, they took a stock standard TY Yam that was heavier than a camel, and they got into the workshop at Buxton with
a hacksaw,
pretty much a welder,
sledgehammer.
And they went, let's make this Japanese heavy lump into a world-class trials bike, and that is exactly what they did.
It is, and basically what Honda do now.
Yes.
And for the factory bike?
Yeah, for the HRC one.
I think they do something a bit more planned.
Well, do you not think? Do you not just take it to a workshop in Buxton?
But how that'll never happen with a modern bike today. Nobody is going to take a brand new bike and then start hacking it to bits and making it better. It's of an era that has gone. And look at it. It's incredible.
I mean, there is one person in Italy that tried to do the same thing with a Beta.
Top trial team
and Bossy Off-Road, so Ben is a Beta owner right now.
Absolutely.
And what exhaust are you running, Ben?
Bossy.
A Bossy one. Is it because it makes a Beta sound cooler?
No, it's to stop me damaging the original.
You heard it here first, folks. That's right. If you're buying a bike, take all the good bits off.
Yeah, are Bossy still doing that, or are they still going?
Yeah, still going, still making.
Fair play.
They make a Bossy edition Evo, right?
They do, yeah. But the pipe makes it so much better. It's soft off the bottom and then just revs so much cleaner.
I know.
Top end does make a big difference.
I can't see anybody doing that with one of the modern fuel injected type bikes. There is nothing really you can improve.
No, a bit
in
of mapping,
the back of a workshop.
Ones and zeros, a bit of code. No, it's not as easy to do that, is it? Really, unless you start getting really, really deep pockets. But this bike, let's be honest, it was a bike that was taken. They took the standard bike and then made it better. And not only did they make it better, they also then made it the more desirable public bike.
Absolutely. And they didn't just mess about a little bit. I mean, they literally, like you say, there used to be an oil tank that got yeeted with an auto lube. That was just made it into a Premex thing. They chopped the bottom of the frame off and put a big Alice sump in. They lengthened the swing arm. They completely altered the headstock. The whole geometry of the bike rode polar different. If you rode the stock bike and this back to back, it must have been a night and day. You know, back in the day, a game changer, a complete game changer. And that's why it's here. It's a legend. It's a legend.
Could you buy a standard Yamaha TY at the time and give it to Mick Andrews and shirt it and ask them to do it for you?
I probably
From what I remember, they used to buy the bikes, then actually create a Majesty version that would then to sale to public. Because I've seen photos of all these Majesties lined up in big lines.
Like a little production line.
They had their own little production line going, making the bikes better.
In Buxton. Who'd have thunk it, eh?
And would you know how much they charge you back then?
Oh,
I did. I actually had.
We should have done his homework.
No, I did do my homework when I did the Majesty version of Trialtube, and off the top of my head, I'm sure that they were something like 1,400 quid.
And how much was a base bike?
Probably bloody more. Let's be honest, the Yamaha, but no, it wouldn't. I rent the base bike was probably $1,000.
Yeah,
shall we say at the time? Okay. Shall we say if it was a special edition bike, it was probably, I don't know, maybe.
But the Majesty
20-30%
was
hands down,
like
better bike,
100% better.
I mean,
there's
my
just loads. An original Fantic then, eh?
Yes, pretty much. Yeah. That's what they did. Yeah,
like your Fantic and an original
your
Fantic.
Bikes. Yeah. That's what they did with brand new bikes back in the day.
Which was funny because I rode a pretty much standard setup Fantic, and although not bad, it does not ride like yours. Nope. So you are basically doing that to Fantics right now. And what they did that 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, 40,
it was a bold
45,
move, wasn't it?
A very bold move. And also...
And it got instant
Mick
results.
Andrews and John Shirt Shirt Senior at the time were the factory riders.
Yep. Yeah. They were the best riders of the day.
Yeah, they were the best riders of the day. And can you imagine if you were a factory rider saying to the factory, I mean, Adam Raga did the same thing with the Sherco, where he's basically just stepped on it and said, this is what I want. But can you imagine being given a bike from Yamaha and then saying to them,
I want to make it better.
I want to make it better.
They perhaps just went in and went, yep.
We have actually, obviously, Telford it would have been and gone by the time that this podcast goes out. And last time I was at Telford, I can't talk or attest to this time around because when we're recording this is actually
a bit before.
Pre-Telford. The last time I was there, did you know that the Yamaha Majesty was the first bike to become fuel injected?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
No way.
That's right. The very last factory version that was ridden by Mick Andrews
Good God.
had a sort of crude fuel injection system on it, and it didn't have a carb.
Never thunk it back in the day.
And do you know how many are in existence?
One.
Wow.
Just the one.
Wow.
So that'll.
Some of this new technology is not new.
It's not that new.
No.
This is why when we're stood there again, why aren't we getting the technology in 2024? And well, they had it in 1980, so we're kind of like by now in 1980.
That's why we had better aeroplanes in World War II, because the Spitfires were fuel injected and the Luftwaffe wasn't.
Oh, right, I see.
Fact.
Hey, facts. That's
showing
right.
his age now.
There we go. You know, every time we have Ben Butterworth on, it becomes like history hour, doesn't it?
When the Luftwaffes dived, the floats rose and the engines couldn't run. So the Spitfires, Rolls-Royce Merlins were fuel injected. They could accelerate downhill.
Wow.
Yes.
So
you learn something new every day.
So Mick thought, my carb keeps bogging down when I drop off something. What am I going to do?
Fuel inject it.
Chuck some fuel injected on it.
Well, there you go. So, like I say,
I don't know if that's how it actually worked. But
no, nice. We're just going to say that Mick had the idea, and we're just going to give him all the props because,
goodness knows.
I mean, the last time I saw Mick, so when I was a kid, I was very fortunate to go and ride at Mick Andrews' place.
Is that Berrycliff?
No, well, that's Mick's mum's place.
Ah, okay.
Berrycliff was owned by Mick Andrews' mum.
Right.
And
cool
Bracken Rocks.
Venue, wasn't it?
Very cool venue indeed. Merrion North Derby youth spent there trying to get up the rock in the car park, many an hour. And
every now and again I heard a cows had walked through.
Yes.
Yes, they did.
For no reason.
Just wandering through.
I
as
think
you
they were,
do.
yeah,
Bit like-
mid-trial.
A bit like my farm. really.
Yeah, nothing to eat in there. Just genuinely must have liked
Passing them
trials.
through.
But yeah, I used to go there once a week. I'm very fortunate to obviously get taught by Mick at one point. For you non-stoppers, yes, Mick Andrews taught me to ride non-stop.
Good to get Mick on the podcast.
Wouldn't it just?
Belting.
Wouldn't it just?
Yeah.
Who knows where it's going to
Who knows where it's going to go? But I know Mick would be up for it anyway because he's a legend. Also, like yourself, Stu, Mick Andrews doesn't age.
No.
I'm pretty sure I'm aging.
No, you're not Asian.
They-
Oh, aging.
Aging. Of course, then John Shirt, when the Yamaha thing came to an end, he pioneered in trials and was, of course, the first person to bring the gas in.
It's true.
The new Spanish breed, and put a lot of input in, and the rest.
I mean,
is-
let's be honest.
rest
In the
is history.
beginning, the gas was not good.
No, the first one was it the Halley?
Halley, yeah, the Halley, named
the-
after a comet.
Yes, indeed. You're learning so much.
You are learning so much
I
right
have,
now.
I have seen one.
Yes.
Monoshock.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drum brakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not great.
White tank, blue and red on it.
White, and it's actually got like a Halley
Yeah.
shooting comet sticker on it.
I know which one you mean.
Pretty cool.
There's one in the gas factory anyway
There is.
in Spain. But
A lot of development went from the Shirt family
Into gas.
Shirty Junior was basically, I think he just lived on them and improved, and what an amazing rider he was.
He did, but prior to that,
It
prior
still
to the
is.
gas days, we're all forgetting that John Shirt Jr. was a HRC rider.
I was on
I don't
On an
know
RTL.
like that.
Yeah, because you
I've
put
only
in your
just read
video
that. Of course he was.
Yeah.
picture from
Yes.
a Backtown quarry.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the 60s.
And also, there's pictures of John doing that. I've put shots of John in previous Trialtubes doing that. And during his younger days, a fiery talent. I think that's what we'll go with.
Absolutely.
Fiery talent.
Absolutely.
A style. I'm going to give him props, but I hope he doesn't mind me saying it. Really, I actually went to watch the British experts. It could have been. I think it was one of the rounds of the Road Nationals.
Yep.
Might have been the Benrose actually. But anyway, I was
What
a kid.
would that be, 96, something like that? When it was on the Blue 300?
Yes, he was on a Blue 300. Yeah, and
Heck of a rider, you know.
oh yeah, I know. Still,
Heck of a rider.
how did
Still.
you get on at the weekend? Actually,
Still a heck of a rider.
How did Ben Butterworth?
I think 14 marks in front of me.
Shirty was 14 marks in front of
Yeah.
you.
I was
mean,
on a bull taco.
I know you were on a bull taco. Was he on a modern bike?
Yeah, he was on a modern
He was
bike.
on a modern bike. Was he on a 300 by any chance?
Couldn't tell you.
Better not have been. So still a hell of a rider. But John Shirt Jr. very much inspired some of us younger riders for his
Certainly
style.
helped. Yeah, absolutely. And when I was lucky enough to, his dad, John Senior, helped me out and got me on board with gas in the trial scene. And then when I switched to the enduro scene, it was Junior that was instrumental in getting me into the enduro team.
Yeah.
And his knowledge and his little tips just absolutely game changing. He's a font of knowledge.
Do you want to know what I have stuck in my mind forever and ever and ever about John Shirt Jr.? I've got like a memory of John Shirt Jr. Can you remember the paint job he had on the back of his helmet?
Ooh, which one?
Before me, I think this.
Definitely before you, this one, Ben, sorry. But John Shirt Jr. was the kind of guy that had enough, shall we
Confidence?
say? Confidence. Good word. Confidence. To have a cartoon dog on the back of his helmet with loads of riders during that period had like their name on the back of their helmet.
Design helmets they were,
which we've got one in the cabinet, obviously, behind you right now, my old one. But during that period, John Jr. actually had a dog on the back of his, and instead of his name, because everybody knew who John Shirt was anyway.
Indeed.
He didn't need his name on the back of his helmet. Instead, he had the dog's bollocks on the back of his helmet with this dog with the biggest set of testicles you've ever seen in your life.
That's
and I mean like
some
big
confidence
veiny ones. Like,
right
it was
there.
quite the statement
Brilliant.
in
Yes.
trials during that
Yes.
period. Which I tip my hat to you, John. That was sick.
Yeah. I wonder if he's still got that helmet.
I don't know, but if he has, I
If he
might
ever
do
come-
like an ode
We're going
to
to
it.
have to ask him to come on as a guest and bring said.
Well, he did
helmet.
say he'd come on as a guest.
Yeah, he did. He's cool.
Which is cool. Also, during the 90s, again, I don't think you mind me saying it, I think he was like being John Shirt Jr. during the 90s and early 2000s he's a cool looking dude, man.
Handsome lad.
I know from the Dot Bod podcast and stuff like that, John was hanging around with stars of motocross at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I'd almost go as far to say as he broke the Trials mold, and that's the reason why Trials couldn't really handle him.
He made Trials look bloody cool.
He did.
And like you say, he was hanging around with Jason Finn and Jamie Dobb, and there was when the Collie, of course. There was all the Duke video stuff. That's when they were starting to do stuff like the Krusty Demons videos and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it was almost like their
out.
own version of it in Trials, which is not heard of, by the way, because obviously Trials people are supposedly, according to the motocross crowd, famously boring.
Very cool guy. Very cool guy. Always had a nice set of wheels as well.
Yeah, he did, in all fairness.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he always had a cool bike, cool paint job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a good time. Good time being like, John Jr. during that period. But
Yeah.
aside from that, he was a linchpin of the industry.
Yeah.
Completely. he was almost his own island, if you catch my drift. He supported some of the best riders, some of the best
No
upcoming
two ways about
riders.
it. Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. Good friend of mine, Tom Sager. At one point, I rode for Shirty, Tom Sager rode for Shirty,
They had
James
the
Dable
best-
rode for Shirty.
They had the best riders.
Yeah.
They had Steve Saunders. He was a gas pilot for many years. Wiggy.
Sean Morris.
It just goes on.
He's a blast from the
the
past,
mighty
isn't he?
Atom
And he just,
rode. Dougie even rode for them. Yeah, Dan Thorpe.
Yeah, still Dan Thorpe now.
He is just like
I think Dan Thorpe. There's somebody else who doesn't age,
He
by
needs a
the way.
long-serving medal award.
Yeah.
He does.
It-
The
What
Team-
years old?
yeah.
150 nationals won, Dan Thorpe.
Wow.
That's serious,
Wow.
that.
All of them on gas?
Yep, it must be because
Yeah, I
I've
would go completely.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
a boy.
but he did ride at TYZ before.
right. Okay.
That was way back, wasn't
It
it?
was a way back because I tried to get some gear off him. I was like, yo, when you used to ride that really like cool purple bike, you wouldn't happen to have your jacket from 25 years ago, would you?
Probably not.
But he doesn't.
Probably not.
And he was like, grow up.
Be a bit moth-eaten, wouldn't it, from back then?
Oh, mate, I'd wear it. Full send. Purple jacket.
You'll have to get a photograph of it and then
Yeah.
get Sorry to make you one up.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's it. I'm probably going to go down the sorrow route for getting I want a TR34 Nova 87 white pant replica of Geordie's. What you wearing then? Like the trousers that basically you wore them because they were white, but
Yeah.
after section 1, you'd look like you shot
Yeah.
yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Them's the ones.
That was some of that 80s trainers going on,
yeah,
wasn't it? But all over.
Yeah, 80s trainers, but all over.
Yeah.
Rob Crawford inspired TYZ Hamilton wear.
That was cool stuff.
That was cool stuff,
Yeah.
wasn't
It
it?
was.
That was a cool
Yeah.
era as well. And the fact that Rob Crawford wore it.
He still comes to the odd trial, doesn't he?
I sat next to him at the Barcelona indoor one year.
There
Yeah.
you go.
What a cool guy.
I don't think anybody ever manages to escape trials because once it's in your blood and it's in your system, that's it. It's in you.
I mean, if
It
I
stays
ask you
there.
now, what can you remember about Rob Crawford?
Being at the NEC International Motorcycle Show and putting on a hell of a good show.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember him being the only person with
And
the balls big enough to ride a TYZ at the World Championship round.
Yeah,
Which one?
He did.
He rode at Hawkston,
Right.
He did.
where everybody was moaning that they didn't have enough power. So what Rob did was ride a bike that had no business being in the sections because definitely didn't have enough power.
No.
And he muscled it through every section, and it was gut-wrenchingly impressive. There's
imagine.
like,
That is a hell of a venue, wasn't it?
yeah,
Like,
94. If you want to see the
Yeah.
footage for that, just
Yeah.
find the 94 World Round at Hawkston and you'll see Rob.
What years was Horton Tower?
Horton Tower was 93.
Right.
And 92, because Dougie's first win was in Horton Tower on the 93 Techno. And yes, I need to get out more. So, moving on.
Geek!
Yeah, what a geek. Loser. But no, back to the Shirt family. Those guys have spent a lot of
They're
time in
just
trials.
complete legends of the sport.
And
They
characters.
are
You'll never get people
absolute
like this again.
stalwarts. No, you will not.
Definitely
And
not.
sadly, it's becoming these great institutions are under threat. Obviously, we know that Gas got taken over by KTM, and heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. They took the importership off them and are doing their own thing. And fair play. I mean, Shirty is now, he's now selling TRSs, Betas, Ossets, gases. He's importing Style Martin, S3, Mott. This lad hasn't knocked him down. He's actually got himself up, dusted himself off, and gone right. Boom.
He could have given up, couldn't he?
Yeah, and I think a lot could have.
Yeah,
I've lost the importership of whatever.
He's done
brand
it enough.
And walk away from the sport. And he isn't. He's like, right, watch this. We're going to go up to another level now. Boom.
And he's still riding Gas.
And the same has just happened with the Rathmulls. I don't know the politics. I don't know the ins and outs.
No.
The Sherco brand has now gone to its own. I presume it's the factory is importing them and distributing them to
obviously, yeah.
dealers.
We've got James and Emma on board with that.
Yes.
Again, we don't know any ins and outs, so we can't say any.
There's another big change happening in the sport. Is the same going to happen to Scorpa? Is the same going to happen to Beta? Maybe. It happened to Montesa.
Yeah. Of course it happened to Montesa. We've seen it happen once already when Montesa, I suppose, came away from the Sandifords and then got given... I suppose still today you can only buy a Honda from a Honda dealership.
Yeah. And a gas from a gas dealership.
And now gas is from all gas KTM Husqvarna dealerships.
Is this the modern way it's going to be, where the big corporate companies simply rule the roost?
But I feel like now
control.
is the most important time for shops to level up, because now, although the importers have gone, because before Shirty would have been the umbrella that would have been watching over the dealers and the shops, almost like they've taken one step out of the chain, but now it's straight from factory to dealer to consumer.
Yeah. And they've got more control, maybe. I don't know.
Gas may be in control of the brand, but
money, bigger margins, of course.
Of course, bigger margins, yeah.
Of course.
But at the same time, the shops are having to become the face of these brands. Each shop, not just any one importer. Each shop is now the face of the brand, and pushing the brand, which, again, yes, it does work for the brand, but I think that Shirty, if I was having a gas built, right, or if I was going to ride gas next, you'd be hard pushing on have one out of Shirty, wouldn't you?
I think you'd be stupid not to in a lot of cases.
How many gases has he seen come through his shop?
Nobody knows that brand better than him. Absolutely no one. There's a reason why I've got close on 30 gases on trials day. It's because Shirty's just up the road. I know I can go to him. I can ask him whatever parts he'll have. His emporium is it's a cave of wonder. It's fantastic. And the knowledge and everything, the sport's 100% fantastic.
I mean, obviously, Ben, you ride a Beta right now.
Yeah.
Okay, and we've said in the past, like, why have you personally chose to ride a Beta? Let's ask you.
I was put on a Beta. Mum and Dad chose a Beta when I was 11, 12. Remember going to Colin Apple Yards to pick it up. And ever since, I've ridden Beta, except for the Montesa years when we started the displays. And we had a bit of backing from Pidcocks, and we had the Hondas, which I rode around Scotland, which was brilliant. Rode a Beta the year after, which didn't find quite as enjoyable because it wasn't as easy going down the road. Went back to Montesa and then thought, Beta's easier to ride, more enjoyable. And yeah,
for
just
the
stuck
day
with
to
them.
day.
Yeah, day to day. You can go to it, you can start it. If you do have an issue, you ring John Boy and it's sorted.
Again, because of obviously John's experience with the brand.
You go to the Scottish and John's backup is the best in my eyes. He has the most stands sat there. He's got his wife doing all the time cards. So you go in, you throw your time card at her, comes back out, you've got 6 minutes. You've got to get your bike in. So you've got 6 minutes to do whatever you need to do and you get your bike back in. You don't get that from anyone else.
Oh, fair play.
And yet again, that's a family that's been in and put a lot into the sport, like the shirts. Yeah. And these are a big part of the sport.
I think what we're trying to get at is the fact that you've got to trust the experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we're after.
And what I'm hoping is with these big brands suddenly going, we're going to dictate who has what bike and whatever. I hope we don't lose them special families that have got such passion for the sport, and it doesn't just become another shop that's wishy-washy.
I think you know, when you go, by the way, if you've ever been to JSM, which is at Harp Hill Industrial Estate, just outside of Buxton.
Fantastic.
Good setup.
Brilliant.
Really good setup. But also other trials brands that I think John's been very selective with through the years. S3 parts are always well finished. You know, I'm definitely somebody who's obviously had them on the channel. You can remember obviously the first time we made the videos about the bar ends that turn alongside the grip of and stuff like that.
Just quality,
mate. They couldn't get them. They couldn't get them through fast enough. But it was one of those things where you just. I purchased all those parts with my money. You know, I'd gone into it. I'd seen them on the shelf and thought, hey, that's pretty trick. That is, you know, that's pretty cool.
Every time I go up to Harper Hill, up to Buxton, up to Shirties, I come out with 10 things I didn't even want to buy when I went in. But I just walk around and go,
shopping.
That nice. Oh, that nice. Oh, look at that. Oh, how much is that? Oh, that nice. That's a good shop.
That's a good shop, and that's what counts. Over onto the so we say Trialtube news. We normally do this a lot quicker.
Trialtube news.
We do this a lot quicker normally, but we're absolutely sucking at this right now. Some of the road trials are going to be kicking off shortly. Obviously, the Benrose is just around the corner, shall we say?
It is.
Normally wetter than an otter's pocket when I rode the
Last
Benrose.
year was horrendous. I have never, ever ridden in mud like it.
It was a wet year.
It was horrific. And I took the aerial and I thought, what the hell am I doing here on this, sliding around? But it's a good day out.
It's a good day
I love
out.
that. It was literally just basically described no man's land.
Yeah, it was.
And 5 seconds later, I went, yeah, good day out. Really good.
It was apocalyptic, but, you know, we got through it.
We had Guy Martin with us. We dragged Guy around a lot of the day. He really, really did struggle, but he did start with like 25 PSI in his rear tyre, which he thought was right.
Oh, my gosh. He's a character, isn't he?
What a character.
I do enjoy watching the road riders. We used to go out, it's like a bit of a name drop episode, this. We used to go out riding a lot with Leon Aslam.
Yeah, well,
him and Ron are big into it.
Crazy. They've been to our place back in the Montesa days, and Leon had come out with full knee braces, body armour, kidney belts, full face armour, and he just threw himself at rocks at warp speed. He was like, he got his armoured gladiator on, well, go!
Dean Harrison and Hutchie, they're all pretty handy on a trials bike.
Oh, mega.
Hutchie rode a Cub in the Isle of Man 2-day a couple of years ago when I did.
What?
Because they'd done the Manx Grand Prix and they were there, so they did the trial as well. Because Jamie Whittam rode Mick Grant's Bantam. So Mick does a bit for him. Mick tries to get him out, which is good.
Oh, again, showing the legacy of trials and the importance of trials
Indeed.
there.
And from previous episodes, you two saying, or the three of you before saying, road races tend to make very good trials riders, but look at Mick Grant.
Well, I think you were a bit different time back then. He might have started with. Talking about road racers, James Toseland, world superbike champion, was East Midlands Centre Trials champion before he even
and that takes some doing because them are some muddy trials.
Yeah, he did. He started with trials. Going back to Guy Martin, when I was having to learn gently how to ride the wall of death on their little Honda 200s.
You do gently.
I
was just about to say, you've seen him ride before, haven't you?
I actually went to Guy Martin's pub, which his sister runs, and was starting to very gently learn to get onto the wall on the little Hondas. Well, not little, bloody horrible Honda 200s from the 80s, aren't they? Alex Fox was on the phone to Guy and said, "Oh, are you coming down? I've watched it. Stu's learning how to ride, and then he's going to take the trials bike round next week." And the guy's like, "No, trials bike, that can't be done. It can't be done. I say." And he just totally didn't believe it could happen. So
you proved him wrong.
I invited him down, but no, didn't bother coming.
Well, once again, I think trials proving more difficult than most would, shall we say, assume, not presume.
It always, the look of shock, Danny, when me and you are teaching and we get some of the road racers down and they get onto the trials bike and they are literally trying to get their knee down doing 200 miles an hour. And we know what happens after they fall. And we laugh. We laugh heartily at them and go...
heartily and hard to the point where I'm almost crying or holding my sides. There's many an occasion... by the way, don't be put off by going to get some trials tuition because I feel like people in trials have got this really weird way. I mean, you've been on the trial school before, right, Ben?
Yep.
Ben's been on a trial school. I've been on a trial school. I've been taught when I was a kid.
Yep.
I'm still being taught every day. When I came back to trials after a break, Stu's taught me many a thing that I've just forgot over time and then had to be reminded. It's easily done.
Bend your knees.
Bend your knees. There's now better than having a minder at a British Championship yelling at a very, very good rider, legs.
Or breathe. Because
breathe.
I hold my breath.
Oh man,
It's
I had a friend who
easy
used to do that in sections actually.
Easy done.
You get to the end of the section, you're blowing, but if someone's there just tends to breathe, you just go, oh yeah.
You hear some of the best. I think some of the most famous ones are Martin Lampkin, God rest his soul.
Oh,
Yes,
brilliant.
bless him.
Would come out with stuff like nice knees. What does that even mean?
They did the right job.
Yeah.
Was it the trial from Pateley Bridge when he ran up the section and told Dougie,
Yeah.
here.
This line right here, very famous piece of footage, of course.
brilliant.
It's fantastic. You never get bored of watching that.
Oh,
do you?
honestly, I'd watch it over and over. And the fact that Dougie is he's not on a zero, is he on a
No,
synth?
techno, wasn't it?
I think it was on Techno.
Techno.
No, he's on a synth.
Are you sure?
Could be a
Was he?
Oh, yes. Please
Yeah, 'cause
don't.
I think
don't
Martin had the
question my
Nolan helmet
video
on, didn't
knowledge. He's on a synth.
Martin had the Nolan helmet on.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And because Dougie's got a white tank, white
Yes,
plastics.
I think you're right.
Could well be. You might.
The
just
only
be
person
right.
that would have been on a techno
Martin gave quite a lot of encouragement
during that
on-
period.
He was
he
a
was
proper
just
minder.
brilliant.
And I had a training day with Dougie and Martin on my TY80.
Wow,
Mega.
jammy git.
And Martin, I wouldn't go down this hill, so Martin kicked me off my bike and rode it down himself. And honestly, it's made my day. Like,
made my day.
There's a
Martin Lampkin's
picture
rode my bike, you
of him
know.
riding my TY80 down this section.
Whilst we're touching on the TY80, by the way, most people, hopefully most people that are listening to this right now, would have learned to ride on a TY80, which would have been inspired at the time to be put together. I actually had some of the original marketing material for the TY80 for one of the episodes of Trialtube, and that whole bike happening was basically because of the one that sat here today.
Yeah.
Because of, again, John
Got-
Shirt's,
yeah.
Senior,
Yeah.
and Mick Andrews' enthusiasm and ingenuity and development of the Majesty.
Got a lot of people into the sport.
Oh
early.
my goodness, yeah. And then, again, we were very fortunate to get our hands on a very clean TY80, which you'll see if you watch one of the Trialtube episodes back.
And most of them, to be honest, have been ridden to within an inch of their life.
And then
they
refurbished.
still keep going.
Oh.
But they are worn out knackered, aren't they?
Well, this bike that we got was almost like original, and when I rode it, all the brakes worked. It had the original bars on, original grips on, original pegs.
Good grief.
You never saw the pegs because you had to fold the right-hand peg up to
Put the
start
kick
it.
kit. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. That's it. It wasn't as fancy as the Majesty that we've got here in the studio today, where the kickstart actually goes past the peg.
Some of that engineering going on there.
Yeah, but obviously, and the original kickstart on the TY80, you had to fold it out first, and it always used to get loose. While the kickstart that was on it wasn't loose.
Yeah.
It was like,
Oh, it's just not been used.
it just not been used. It
it
was
must have been bought as a present for a kid that just did not want to do it.
unicorn bike, 100%.
They are out there.
And we fired it up, original tyres. And you know what? I ride a section on this episode on it. And I'm telling you now, I do the intro on it. And I think it's the intro to the Pinky episode, maybe. And I'm telling you, boys, it was a good 25 minutes before I got off that bike.
You just enjoyed it.
I just,
Reliving your childhood.
Riding down memory lane.
and as an adult, what other kid's bike do you know as an adult? Even now, you could ride an Osset, but it would struggle, right? The TY80
Did it?
was a full-blown motorcycle that could carry an adult dad showing his kid what to do.
Yep.
Indeed. Am I right in thinking TRS have just launched a really trick 80?
Proper.
Yes.
And I think, because obviously the Beta 80 has been the daddy of the 80. It pretty much took over after the TY, and it's been there for, 2 decades.
There's one bike in between there that we're forgetting.
Go on then.
The Mecha Techno Amigo.
Rare bike, though. A
Rare bike.
Rare
I've ridden one.
bike.
Have you?
Yep.
Terrible tyres.
I
Because
can't
they were
remember. It was
halfway
only-
between a full-size tyre and TY80. So they had their own tyres. I remember them not being the grippiest. Their factory rider here in the UK was James Dable.
Yep.
And he had a Amigo on the small wheels, and then he had an Amigo on big wheel setup, both 80s.
Yeah.
Because during the C-Class period, then you could ride up to 100cc, and the Amigo was almost the right size bike for everybody. It was just so badly put together.
The other bike in between was the Gas 80 that was so poor, it was criminal.
Yeah.
It was
one of
criminal
the best.
how bad that bike was.
But I tell you what was cool, when Gas in the 99, 2000 period, you know what I'm going to say in a minute, released the TX Boy. Can you remember that? Aluminium tank, 3 gears, semi-automatic.
2 years, wasn't it? It had
2
a little
gears?
shaft. You pulled it out and shoved it back in.
That was it.
There was a neutral in the middle.
Yeah, and there's a neutral in
brother
the
had
middle. The
one.
TX Boy, I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Because it looked like a big bike. They were going in the wash.
Shame it couldn't be reliable.
Again, pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Or even
And-
worse, when your brother decides to clean it and shoves the hose pipe down the exhaust.
No!
And says to me, Grandad, I'm just cleaning the engine out.
Oh, no.
Cleaning the engine
No.
out. That's
Until
amazing.
It flooded out the back.
Oh, no.
Jack will hate me for saying that, but yeah.
That's right.
what
If
he
you
did.
want your bike built, get it done by Jack Butterworth. I saw
And
that's how he cleaned his
that's
Vertigo
when
the other week, by the way.
Exhaust butt plugs became a household thing.
Do you mean the exhaust bung?
Bung.
It's not an exhaust butt plug.
But that's what they're known by
I think-
everybody.
Is it? Is it?
Is it?
Is that a thing?
Yes.
Ben, have you got an exhaust butt plug?
I don't tend to use one now.
Wow. I didn't know that was even a thing. Education. If you're driving right now, don't crash. And
Available for more good
available
stockies.
soon. Yeah. And also, like they've got they're a gradual.
No matter how big the hole is,
Yeah.
it will suit
Yeah,
any
I
size.
like buying mine from a service because they're ribbed.
Mine
no,
have
it's
been
not a
getting really
thing, is
used.
it?
They're
No, I
really
don't think
dirty
so.
now. Oh,
But
dear.
there's been a lot of bikes, a lot of kids' bikes since then that have just not stacked up to the TY80, which was from the TY Majesty again. You know that twin shock little bike, which was a mimic version of the big
And
one.
it has a proper clutch and a proper gearbox and
Proper
there's
engine.
nothing over electronic, and it worked, and it was a hero, a real hero. Not even an unsung hero. Everybody has respect for that little bike. They're incredible.
And there's I think there's floods of trials loaded with guys that are riding right now that can honestly, hands down, say they are there because they had a TY80.
Yep, it's a hero bike.
It's a hero bike. And if you've got one in your possession,
You lucky
lucky person. And if it's in good nick,
Cherish
better.
it, look after it, and pass it on to the next generation.
yeah, pass it on to the next generation because
It will still do its job.
Shall we be honest as well? Probably unpopular opinion, but what do we think's better, boys? Do we think it's the Ossets and
I
electric
personally-
bikes of today, or
Right.
do we still think we'd choose a TY80?
Can I answer honestly? Electric bikes don't make the best transition to petrol. Now, I'm going to go my own little thing here because there's no gears, there's no clutch, so all you've got is and when they get onto a petrol bike, we've got to teach them how to use the clutch and gears, but they still do that automatically with the throttle. So instead of just being nuts, instead of on the throttle and using the clutch, instead they're going ying, ying, ying everywhere, scaring the pants out of them, and then a lot of kids, they get put off.
Yep.
And I think there is a massive gap in the market for every manufacturer to bring out a little TY80 size, 50cc, and then make a bit bigger one that's an 80cc. And of course, they then graduate onto the 125s nicely.
Let's be honest, I'm not going to say this very often because us as trials riders probably don't do this very often, but you've got to say that motocross are doing it better than us.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. They've got little proper bikes with
Little
clutches.
proper SX60s,
Yes.
MC60s, 65s, 85s.
Big
The ele-
wheels, then the 125s. Yeah.
The electric bikes have got a cool thing that you can ride them in the middle of a town. You can ride them in an urban area, and nobody, your Karen isn't going to complain. But
Who's not going to complain?
Karen,
Karen.
or Trevor. Sorry to the Trevors or the Karens
Jeffrey.
in the world.
Jeffrey, just down the road.
Yeah, who knows? But does it transfer to make a better youth rider? I personally think not. Controversial. But at least it's getting kids interested in being in two
gets
wheels.
the kids
It gets
onto
kids.
bikes.
It does.
Now, I dislike how they have the back brake on the left hand. I think
It
the
should be a
back
foot.
brake should be on the foot because that's how it should be.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think they could easily make a little gearbox.
That's easy doable. Little gearbox. I don't
Little
know.
clutch, optional.
Yeah, clutch possibly, but it gets them on a bike.
Yep.
And gets them going. But like you say, that transition from that electric to that petrol is massive.
Okay, so
It's a big one. It's not, like you say, back in the day when... and let's be honest, the TY80 was easy to master.
it was.
it
It
was
didn't run
a
away with
lovely
you,
little
but it had
plastic
the same, shall we say, the same laws of gravity applied.
Yeah.
If you didn't have great clutch control on your TY80,
You toppled off.
You toppled off,
Yeah.
or the bike ran away, just like a big bike.
Yes.
and it taught you to ride a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
You could
was
sit
a
down,
motorcycle.
It had a seat. You could sit down, which was great for when you were first starting out.
It had a hot exhaust that you soon learned
Yeah.
you don't touch.
Yeah, you soon learn that if you have your leg on the exhaust, then that's where it'll stay.
Some of that grown-up stuff really cut little.
Yeah, I think the TY80 taught us all our
Yeah.
first adult lessons in life.
Absolutely.
God, what a bike!
Best first bike ever.
Best first bike ever, easy, hands down.
Absolutely, 100%.
Now, on the next sort of, shall we say, topic, what you've got to think is, what bike would you choose today? If you were a kid now, with the bikes that are available, so we're talking, here we go, the lesser known and lesser seen Vertigo Vandal.
Not even seen one in the flesh.
I've seen one in the flesh.
What are we talking about? 50s or 80s here?
50s. No, just if you, okay, so we'll do a little bike.
Yeah.
And then the only bike really that's available if you were going to go onto a big bike. Now, I think there's only one obvious choice right now of what bike you were going to ride if you were going to go to the 80 size now in 2024.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
But from the little bikes,
Yeah.
when I say the little bikes, your TY80 size bikes, that's the
Beta
imagine.
do the little wheel 80, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And
think-
Beta did do, which is the bike that got my brother into it. Beta also did an automatic
They did
mini trial.
The mini trial, yeah.
They were really good.
They were.
And they looked
They
cool
were.
too.
And they'd got that centrifugal clutch.
Yeah.
They were okay then.
They were okay and reliable.
Yes.
If it survived my brother, mate, it was a good bike.
So, obviously, we're spoiled for choice electric bike wise for kids.
Well, obviously, we've got to consider if we were going to choose, if we were all 6 years old now,
Yeah.
and our considerations have got to go to the Osset TXP, which has just been launched again. I'm sure they're doing
Yeah.
a little version of that, but I think the Osset, should we just say Osset? And we've got the Osset, we've got the TRS electric bike.
Yeah.
Beta still do
do.
an electric bike.
Yeah.
They do.
My daughter had one and the sole reason of me buying the Beta is because I had a Beta at the time, so she had a Beta because that's what we did. And then after that, is that it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that it? Are they the big three?
Is the little Mecha Technos?
Yes, there's very
no longer, are they?
Are they not? Have they
I don't know. I've not seen one for
I
a
think
long
you can
time.
still get one. According to the
okay.
guys at Mecha Techno, that was a different
they're
form
not-
of Mecha Techno.
Yeah.
New Mecha Techno is
Yeah, okay.
very much throwing back to.
If I was going to put a little kid on a bike, I'd still chuck him on that TY80.
Would you
Yeah.
just scour the earth for a TY80?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think I would. Yeah, 100%. Get them going with a clutch, get them proper throttle, no brakes, because obviously you've got disc brakes now, they were on drums.
If you are going to go electric, I think that TRS looks the raddest out there.
Got to be Osset for the...
Really?
Yeah, because
The
they've
nostalgia.
been doing it for the longest and they're
guess.
probably the most advanced. Would you not say?
I don't know.
I think for me,
The Osset do the smallest one.
the Osset would be small.
I mean, they start really
I think the-
teeny tiny, don't they?
Yeah.
You know-
at least, like you said, big car park, get a kid on two wheels. It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know what we need to
Yeah.
do is we need to do a test on Trialtube where we actually have the kids' bikes and we do a dad test with we have 3 dads stood around thinking what would you like your kid to ride.
Yeah.
Are all the dads going to start shouting and screaming at the
No,
kids?
yeah, proper dad spec.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it, then obviously we're all going to insult each other and then,
Yeah.
or be nice to each other's face and then walk away and insult them, which is what dads do, innit? It's just like, oh yeah, it's really good to see you, great to see your boy here. Then you walk away with your boy and you're like, you better beat him today. No, and that's kind of listen. Don't
I've
start
seen
acting
a
like
lot
you
of
don't do
stroppy
it.
dads at trials.
Don't you think
Stroppy dads and stroppy mums.
stroppy and mums and
Yeah.
stroppy mums?
Gosh.
And I think the important thing is that we, if it was me picking a bike for my little one to ride, obviously Eloise had a Beta. in the beginning.
Yes.
It did work very well. It was a good little bike, and so I can't say that it's bad. They are a bit of an Ossic copy, if I'm being honest.
I'm going to say something.
Go on.
Do you think all of the electric bikes are still going to be talked to fondly in another 40 years' time?
God, no.
They'll be in the scrap heap.
They'll all be in the dustbin and thrown away.
God, no. Do you think we're all going to be sat here again? I can remember riding an Ossett, and it was amazing, and it taught me life lessons.
Do you think in 40 years' time, the little 80-year-old that they'll be then, TY80s, they'll still be going strong?
They will.
Of course they will.
Oh, mate, honestly, if you've got a unicorn TY80 in like another 30, 40 years' time.
Even if you've not got a unicorn one, you can still go to InMotion, Bull Taco. He's still got plenty of bits for TY80.
Yeah,
You can
and
put
you
them
know
back
what? If you rebuilt it, I can tell you now, I bet it'll start.
So what we're saying, Trials manufacturers, is build a really cool little 80.
What, you mean like Wayne's World? If you
Yes.
book them, they will come.
Yes.
If you build them, they will sell.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And that's the topic for the little generation.
Yeah, for the little
Isn't it?
generation, 100%. You know, the world is crying out for a TY80, which it's not a TY80 size bike, but the launch of the TRS80 has got to be appreciated.
It has, because that looks like a big bike, and it's a little bike.
Yeah, well, the only other company that built a bike like that made such a large impact at the time, TY80 time, was Fantic.
They did a lovely little bike.
Yeah, a little 50.
They did a 50 and an 80. And the Fantic 80.
I'd have one of them in my collection.
Yeah, you'd have one of them. Fantic also did the Fantic 80 like along the 305-249 time when it was like bright orange.
Ah, yeah, the Montesa.
Oh, Montesa. Well, sorry, we've just got a bit of extra.
49cc.
49cc Montesa. Oh, the TLR 50 from Honda.
That was
RTL 50.
What a
RTL
lovely...
Jack
50.
has an RTL 50
Yes,
in
he
his
does.
garage.
Oh, I
Hey,
tell you what.
your dad were rich if he had one of them.
If your old man had an RTL 50, that's like...
Yeah.
I don't know, that'd be like driving a Bentley now,
Oh
right?
my gosh, you were a spoilt little brat. You
Spoiled
really
little
were.
brat.
You
I love
were.
that. You know, obviously the family might not have been able to eat at the period. They weren't spoiled, they just made bad life choices.
Yeah.
They're not like RTL 50. What a machine. I don't think many of them entered the country, I'm going to be honest, right?
No, there's not many.
No.
But these kids' bikes, there's a market. Because if there's no
market.
bikes, how can people get into trials?
Exactly.
And like I said, I've said every episode, Trials is booming, and the amount of clubs, little kids, the electric bikes have brought a lot in, but we think there could potentially be better bikes out there for them.
Yeah, I'm
be
not
built.
saying it's easy to build a bike.
No, it's not.
No.
Of course, it's not easy.
What, the graft, mate? Absolute graft.
Oh my god! And the research, the money that goes into
And
it,
time. And the people that are doing that and spending their money to do that, then, you know, again, I take my hat off to them. And, you know, a lot of people, and I also, obviously, we know the Smiths, Ian Smith, Ollie Smith, you know.
they were pioneers, really.
Pioneers
of the
with the
electric
Ossett.
generation.
100%. Oh, wow. We're just being given loads of info off camera, by the way. Basically, where our producers, the man in the chair, just keeps telling us of other random bikes. Bultaco had a 100cc twin
Never
shock
knew
as well.
they did that.
And Ben, you own Bultacos,
I have
which
got a
therefore
Bultaco,
means that
but-
you must know everything about them.
No, didn't know they did.
No, didn't know that.
Actually, yes, because Vesti has got one in his collection, and I have seen it.
Have you?
Yes.
I've heard that Vesti has got quite the collection.
Beautiful.
Beautiful collection
There's
of
a
bikes.
lot of cool Trials collectors out there.
There is a lot of cool trials collectors out there.
is.
I one day hope when I grow up,
Never
when I
grow
grow up, I want to be a trials collector. You know, there's people out there that have become trials bike collectors and then sold some of their collections and then started bike brands, like from selling bikes. And that's cool. What did you do? Oh, I bought bikes. And what did you do now? Oh, I sold some, so I built bikes. That's gangster.
The trial scene is good.
It is very, very good. But to answer our previous question of what bike would you pick, you're not allowed to pick the 2i80. What bike would you pick?
Ossett for me.
Ossett for Ben?
Yep.
The little beta petrol for me.
Oh, little beta petrol.
Yes.
Yeah, they are still in existence.
Yes, they are.
Yes, you
they're
can
rare
see.
and they what, but I would go for the proper little clutch and gears on the little wheel.
Yeah.
Can I edit my answer?
Can you edit your answer? Yeah, go on.
Ossit with a back brake to the foot instead of...
Oh, right. An Ossit
Is
that
that
has
even
been...
made yet?
No, but
Right,
that,
okay.
it have to be modified.
That's like that indoor that Raga's running.
The AR-53?
The AR-53 indoor. The indoor that will never be.
Yeah.
I've got a funny story about Raga, actually,
Have
before
you?
we wrap this up. So, Adam Raga, I feel like I was a bit unjust with my... prognosis of Adam Raga in the last episode, because when we interviewed him the last time at Barcelona,
We also need to congratulate him on becoming a dad.
oh yes, congratulations to Adam Raga and his lovely wife to the birth of their new son. So I don't know their name, but here we go. There we are. I did read it actually. I did read it, but
Is it a little boy?
it is a little boy.
Oh,
yeah.
there you go.
Sorry, he is a little boy.
He is.
He also identifies as a he.
Who knows what they're going to identify as?
Oh my God, we've opened
I can't keep up with that. I
wormhole
can't
now
keep
we're
up with that.
screwed. I can't keep up with that either. I identify as a trials rider.
I do too.
And he's obviously become a dad once again, so congratulations to Adam Raga. But like I said, I've got a funny story about him. Did you know that Adam Raga is a professional impressionist?
No way.
Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah. He spends his part-time doing, his free time, walking his dogs and doing impressions of Doug Lampkin.
This can't be real.
No, it's real. I swear down, it's real. I was sat in an indoor once. It was at Marseille actually, and we were with Adam Raga, and we were sat on the table, and he does a mean impression of Doug Lampkin. Doug, if you don't know about this, by the way, I'm sorry.
Does Doug know about this? That was about.
I have no idea.
Okay, he's going to find out then, isn't he?
He probably will do, yeah. So,
Okay.
But it was very funny. It was just one of those off the cuff things. And Adam actually sounds more like Doug Lampkin than Doug Lampkin, if that's possible.
Can you do the impression?
Can I do the impression? Jesus.
So you're going to do an impression of
Adam
Adam Raga
doing an impression of
Doug Lampkin.
Doug Lampkin. Yeah,
can't
that's
wait for
basically
this.
how they work. This is terrible. Doug, sorry. Just so you know, Doug was actually really helpful at the DL12. Now I'm just trying to dig myself out. But it doesn't matter. Never mind. In for a penny. So Adam Raga, who speaks very good English, by the way, whenever he's interviewed and stuff, he was really cool.
I can't wait to meet him.
He is good. He is good value. He's great value. Don't go to a pizza restaurant if he tells you he's taking you to a pizza restaurant, but that's a different podcast. We can't talk about that. That's like a after Watershed one. And oh God, I think I've bottled it. No, I'm going to do it. And anyway, Adam Raga does a mean impression of Doug Lampkin, and what he does is he brings his bottom lip out as far as he can, and his jaw in front of his teeth, and so it's like that. Actually, you can't see this if you're listening right now in the car. This is very difficult to imagine.
Get onto the YouTube and watch this.
Yeah, get onto YouTube and you can see me doing an impression of Adam Raga doing an impression of Doug Lampkin. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
That's right. Okay. So you have to bring your jaw really far forward. And Adam said, I think maybe they were at a trial and it was raining, because in his memory he said, "Hey, Dougie, when you're at a section and it's raining, does your mouth fill full of water?" That's all he says. He doesn't say anything else. That's all he says, okay? And when he did it, and he did this impression of Doug, which, just so you know, there's nothing wrong with Doug Lampkin's jaw. He's fine. I've been loading and unloading at Western Beach Race with Doug in the rain, literally to the point where the rain is bouncing off the floor, and I can attest that Doug Lampkin's mouth did not fill full of water. So, but Adam
write these stories.
Adam Raga's
You can't write
impression
it.
of Doug Lampkin is that for some reason,
if we ever
that's
lucky
how you
enough
sound
to
like
get
Doug
him
Lampkin.
on,
I don't know if that's real or not.
if we
but-
ever lucky enough to get him onto the podcast, we're
Need
going
to
to have
get
to
that
make
on.
him do it.
What, make him do the impression of Doug Lampkin?
Or if we ever get Dougie on, we want him to do an impression of Adam Raga.
Yeah, that would be better. I feel
possibly.
I feel like retribution and revenge.
I wonder if this is a thing within the
I'm
within the
gonna be
GP
honest, let's be honest.
paddock.
Doug Lampkin's already had revenge because Doug Lampkin's had an indoor where Adam can't run the AR-53.
No, it'd just be the AR-3,
AR-3,
which just says, "Oh."
It's not as funny, is it? It's not as funny.
No,
But obviously, completely fictitious indoor there.
it's just a bit of fun.
It's just a bit of fun, but definitely Adam Raga's Adam, these are weird memories, but these are the weird stories that always come out, aren't they? But this impression of that Adam Raga did at the table at the time,
I would imagine everybody spat the food out.
Oh yeah, God yeah, God yeah. But that was Adam's depiction of Doug. Obviously, they've spent a lot of time traveling the world together, doing that sort of thing. You've got to give some context to this. It's not like he doesn't know him, you know.
I think,
I know that Doug's got a great sense of humour and would 100% laugh. You know,
I think they've all got to have a good.
Oh, you've got to have a good sense of humour if you're in the spotlight. If you know what I'm saying.
There was rumour that Busto and Bo had a little bit of a spat.
Yes, there was. There was a little bit of a lovers' tiff at the Montpellier indoor the night before the DL12.
Was it mind games, or do you reckon was it real?
No, I think it was a real tiff.
A bit of a ding dong.
Yeah, definitely. Something to do with a mark that wasn't given for Tony. We've never seen that before. And a sump touch maybe, or something along those lines. It could have even been a dab. I haven't seen the footage. All I've seen is the footage after, where Tony stood in front of Busto trying to stop him to go into a section, which, as we all know, if you're at a club trial, walking in front of somebody before they go in a section is a bit of a faux pas to try and put them off, right?
Oh yeah, it's a proper thrower, isn't it?
It's a proper thrower, isn't it? It's a bad thing to do, you know.
It's bad doo-doo.
It is a bad juju before you go in a section, but on that bad impersonation, I think we'll wrap this one up.
I think we may as well.
Yep.
A big thank you to the team and of course John at JSM. Obviously those guys up there, we're super fond of them, and
the whole setup is fantastic. Jude is just running a heck of a show with Shirty. The accounts department, all of them are on their A game.
Did you just choose the accounts department to celebrate just then?
Yeah.
Yes, because I keep spending a lot of money up there, and they just keep taking my money.
Love the accounts department.
They take my money so efficiently.
Ben, any accounts departments you'd like to thank on this?
No, I can't. No. Definitely not.
Definitely not.
No,
I'd like to thank you for the accounts
department
department.
you detested
I tell you what, you are. That was low. Like, I tell you what, the accounts department right now at JSM are like. Don't know if you heard our mention.
Shit hard.
They really are. They're really good at keeping things going on that side of the business. Oh my God, that was new.
The spanner twirlers must be good.
Yeah, the people, you know, doing the spanner side. Yeah, great. But again, JSM, thank you very much for
thank you.
supporting the podcast for this episode. As we have had a bit of a throwback.
We just go off on all sorts of different tangents.
It's a tangent.
Tangents and down memory lane and talk about things that just spark a bit of memory flood back.
A bit of
I
memory.
don't think you've actually covered anything that you said you were going to cover on this one.
No. We were supposed to cover. We were supposed to cover JSM. We did that.
Yeah, we did that bit.
And we talked about Majesty.
We talked about Majesty. We did that.
Right.
Then we got down onto the TY80. We didn't mean to do that.
We took a total different tangent and rabbit hole onto kids' bikes, but that's a good topic.
It is because, you know, children of the future. That is the worst pun ever.
Yeah.
It was all very fitting.
We've got to somehow find who actually owns this dog because we're taking a right shine to him.
Yeah, he's not ours, by the way. We stole him just for the
Ben
filming.
called him Buster, but he's just a prop that we stole.
Can't call him Busto. Can't do that.
No.
Can't do that. Again, thank you very much for tuning in, and you know,
please like and subscribe.
It does matter.
Make a big difference.
It does make a big difference. Yeah.
Contact us. We're all contactable. Sandy's behind the scenes, so you can contact Sandy at Sorrow UK.
Sorrow.uk.
Sorrow.uk. You can contact myself, Stu Day, at Trials Day.
At Ben Butterworth for Ben.
At Ben Butterworth 92.
92. Have you been away in between episodes? He checked it. Amazing.
And of course.
And obviously you can get in touch with us at Trialtube on Instagram, on Facebook, and info@trialtube.co.uk. If you want to send us an email or have a little rant.
Ideas, suggestions.
We do. We love a suggestion.
Absolutely.
I think we do need to do the super cool wall.
Oh yeah, of course. We don't forget about that.
do.
I'm glad you reminded me about that.
Yeah, if we get a cool wall, like...
We want you to
send us your bike builds in and we'll rate
cool
them.
Bike
And
builds, yes.
Yeah, we want to see readers' rides.
And we will rate your ride.
Please, rate your ride. I was honestly,
Rate
don't get that
your
confused with
ride.
readers' wives. That's a
And it'll be
different thing.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
If you've just tuned in,
Yeah.
you've just got like an ASMR version of two blokes just going, for the last few minutes. That is weird.
Yeah.
But no, thank you very much as always. We've been the Trialtube
what
podcast.
would we rate this, Rod?
Oh, what would we rate this original unstarted?
For me, that's
TY Majesty.
So we've got
200.
super cool,
It's
cool,
super cool. No, it's super cool. for me.
uncool, or super uncool.
Super uncool. So
Yep.
it's this is super.
This is
cool.
a legend.
This
It's
is like
Yeah,
super cool.
it's fitting in that super
yeah.
cool category.
They
innit?
do like Sub-Zero. Can you remember on Top Gear they did like Sub-Zero for
They
things that were
did. It
just
was that
super
cool, it was
cool.
Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
An unstarted Majesty to this level.
Yeah.
Also with the YZ100 casing, which was only fitted
Mm-hmm.
to factory bikes.
Is that magnesium?
It might. I think it is. Yeah. Is it? Is he nodding? He is.
That's
Yeah.
special.
That
Special
is-
magnesium in 1980.
That is Pepe de Monte.
Yeah, yeah. If you have a bike of this level that you would like to be featured on the Trialtube podcast, we would like to have you here.
Yeah. And we'll have a look.
Yeah. So once again, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
And we're coming through your ears. No,
Coming
no,
in your ears.
Coming in your ears. Coming in your ears.
Coming in
and if
your
you're on
ears.
YouTube, we're coming in your eyes.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.